Welcome to Vintage SF. I'm Richard Rempel, and today we're going to take a look at my book acquisitions for January 2025. I say acquisitions because these really aren't a book haul of any sort. In December, just before Christmas, my wife and I returned from a holiday in the southwest of the United States. There are 4 epic book hauls from that holiday on my channel. I'll put links in the description to this video. So January was a quiet month after we came back. I made only one purchase online, and that was to complete a series that I'd found 2 of the 3 books in the vacation. That series? The Tripods by John Christopher. I was missing the first novel, The White Mountains. This is the Roger Hayne cover for White Mountains. As you can see on the back here, there's the White Mountains, the city of gold and lead, and the pool of fire. I already had those last 2 books, but in the purchase that I made online, the Pool of Fire came along with it. And I do like this cover. Once again, by Roger Hayne. These books came out in 1967 and 1968. If you're interested, I do have a review of the trilogy on my channel, and how it is SF for all ages. Once again, there will be a link in the description. Another 4 books came my way this month, a gift. Dream Master by Roger Zelazny. I'm actually reading that right now. This was recommended to me by Grammaticus of Grammaticus Books. We did a video about Roger Zelazny's first novel in the Amber Chronicles, 9 Princes of Amber. Once again, a link in my description. Longtime viewers of the channel know I love The Twilight Zone and Rod Serling. He did another series that was Twilight Zone-like, called Night Gallery. And here are 6 stories from Night Gallery. The next books, though, may be the books you've been waiting for. The books that are on my thumbnail. By William H. Patterson, Jr., an authorized biography of Robert A. Heinlein. This is Volume 1, titled Learning Curve, 1907 to 1948. And also Volume 2. This one's titled The Man Who Learned Better, 1948 to 1988. I want to take a closer look at these, so I'm going to change the angle here so that you have a view of the books themselves. Robert A. Heinlein, in dialogue with his century. Let's just take a look at the dust jacket by itself. From the inside of the front flap, he rewrote USSF as a whole in his image. Robert A. Heinlein may have been the all-time most important writer of genre SF, the Encyclopedia of Science Fiction. Then we can see some quotes from Ben Bova and from Gardner Dozo. I'm not sure if I pronounced that last name correctly. And the first paragraph here, Robert A. Heinlein, 1907 to 1988, is generally considered the greatest American science fiction writer of the 20th century. A best-selling author in later life, he began as a graduate of Annapolis, a Navy man who was forced to retire because of tuberculosis. A left-wing politician in the 1930s, he became an inspiration to American libertarians in his later years. Obviously, politics is going to play a large role in some of the things that we learn. And here we see the writer. William H. Patterson, Jr. lives in San Francisco, California. He has published numerous articles and 2 books on the works of Robert A. Heinlein, and is a frequent public speaker on Heinlein and his works. And there we have the author himself. And this is a Tor hardcover. You may have noticed that this is an authorized biography, authorized by Robert A. Heinlein's family. One of the things about an authorized biography is that we know this will be favorable to Robert A. Heinlein. I'm very curious to see if there's any critique of his work within here, or to what level that critique will occur. This is copyright 2010, and this is a first edition, first printing. And here you can see the contents. What I wanted to show you is that in each of these books, there is a picture section. I thought it might be valuable to just go through here. Here we see the very young Robert A. Heinlein and his first wife, Alice McBee. Heinlein was married multiple times. So we see some pictures of his wives, and we also start to see some pictures of him with his science fiction peers. This is Jack Williamson. In World War II, due to his health, he worked in the United States in the Naval Air Experimental Station. And here we see pictures of his last wife, Virginia Gertensfeld. In this picture we see L. Sprague de Camp, Isaac Asimov, and Robert A. Heinlein. Virginia Gertensfeld was known as Ginny to Heinlein. And at the back of each book, we have acknowledgments. Appendix. This one, family background. Appendix B, campaign biography. And then we have notes, followed by an index. Volume 2. Once again, let's take a look at the dust jacket separate from the book. The inside flap. Patterson offers a meticulous life portrait of America's most pivotal science fiction author. In following Robert Heinlein's journey step by step, we come to understand his persistent themes of his work: perseverance, compassion, courage, curiosity, and, above all, a drive to confront the future on its own terms, eye to eye. This is from David Brin. This is the second volume of a major American biography, continuing the story after Robert A. Heinlein in Dialogue with His Century, Volume 1, Learning Curve, 1907 to 1948. Volume 2, The Man Who Learned Better, 1948 to 1988, chronicles Heinlein at the height of his career through the years leading up to the end of his extraordinary life. Much information here has never been known about Heinlein outside of a small circle of his intimate friends. And the back cover, we once again have the blurb about William H. Patterson, Jr., the author. Copyright 2014. This, again, is a first edition, a first printing. Table of contents. And some photos. One person you might recognize is Theodore Sturgeon. This is a great photo of him in his office. You may recognize a few authors in this photo: Isaac Asimov, L. Sprague de Camp and his wife, and just a peek of Poul Anderson and Norman Spinrad. Here we have Robert and Virginia Heinlein in 1976. I guess he saw Star Trek. In this photo, we see him talking with Jerry Purnell and C.J. Cherry. He traveled out to Sri Lanka to visit with Arthur C. Clarke. This may be the last known photo of Robert A. Heinlein. He passed away in 1988. And this is his wife, Virginia, or Ginny, at the dedication of the Robert and Virginia Heinlein wing of the Butler Public Library in 1990. And once again, then, we have acknowledgments, notes, and an index to finish the book. Let's just take a look at the spines of the book together. And I'll just slip on the dust jackets and then we'll look at those together as well. A very handsome design for the bookshelf. And there's one last book that I'd like to talk about, a gift from Joe of Science Fiction Retroactivist. There will be a link to his channel in the description. Joe was upgrading his copy of Robert A. Heinlein, Have Spacesuit, Will Travel. He passed on this beautiful hardcover reprint from isfdb.org, Internet Speculative Fiction Database. We learned that this hardcover came out in 1995 from Athenaeum Press. It was a science fiction book club edition. The cover art by Frank Kelly Frias. This novel is in pristine condition. If I remember correctly, Joe said that he had received a Christmas present of an early edition of Have Spacesuit Will Travel. So that is it for January. 7 books. There's already a review for the tripods. I'm reading The Dream Master right now, and I'm very excited about these Heinlein books that I have. Moving forward, I think I'm just going to have a small amount of acquisitions per month, at least for a while. I know my wife is a bit skeptical about that, but I do believe that I'm honing my library at this time. So do you have any thoughts about the books I picked up this month? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, keep reading.